In this session, we will see the RAG application from the beginning till the end. So, these were the tools and technologies which were used over here. And this is the overall stack. So, let's see from the beginning what's happening on this RAG application. So, this is the RAG application, which is primarily used for taking the files from Cloud Drive. So, for example, on Google Cloud Drive, it takes all the documents and then processes with the information, whatever the user asks in the chatbot. So, what it does, this RAG, the user interface, as you can able to see, it was created in a React environment using white, and we have the chatbot metrics. I will show the overall pipeline over here. And we use the fast API for authentication. Key clock is used, and we have the AI orchestration layer. We have the lang chain and lang graph by passing to the Grok LLM. So this is a open source free LLM which you can utilize by using the API key with the token. So we were using the Cohere embeddings, you can sign it up for free. For the memory, we use the Qtran. So if it is for commercial purpose, you can go for Pinecone or Milbus Vector DB. So what it does is, so when you type a question, it responds back. So this is a simple chatbot based on the document. So the authentication and authorization is not implemented, but we follow the key clock uh, methodology. And here, so how the query is written, PA is personal identifiable information. So this is mostly used to follow the GDPR NEMO guardrails. And the vector DB, how it generates answer from the LLM using Grok LLM, and then uh, the guardrails with related to the responses. So this is the technology deep dive, the key tools and technologies. So for the front end, it's React, and we are using the white for building on the React application. So we use TypeScript, and then for authorization and authentication, we use the key clock. For metric data, we use this Zastan. For designing the React, we use the CSS global style system. And from the backend, we are interacting using the fast API, UVicon, LangChain, and LangGraph for AI orchestration, Grok for the LLM. This is the Cohere embeddings for processing the document chunking, and the Qtrant for cosine similarity. This for catchy, and residue is for PIA detection. As I said earlier, PIA is for personal identifiable information. So it passes is like based on the PDF or document or PowerPoint presentation, Excel file with text and the CSV files. So on the observability and metrics, we have this response latency by following P50 and P95, the context precision, and embedding dimensions, the chunks retrieved using top 5 retrieval. So these were the metrics tabs. As you can able to see, the total query success rate, P detected, average latency, low latency, or it is having high latency in terms of milliseconds. So yeah, 1000 milliseconds will be 1 second. So P50 and P95 for queries beat the total context window. So the other metrics is which is related to have control over the pipeline. So here you can see the pipeline, how it is going from the start to end. So this is the deployment architecture front end. It was deployed to Vessel as open source. and the backend it's deployed to Railway. For vector DB, it is CrewTran Cloud, and for LLM, it's Grok. For embedding, it's Coher Cloud. For session store, it's Redis Cache. So we are deploying through Docker and Docker. The Python package is 3.11. So this is about the memory. On observability and monitoring, we have Prometheus Open Telemetry to track the metrics. For authentication, we use the token, rate limiting, and the dual scanning. So this is the output window of my screen. So it's basically developed in VS Code. From here, you can able to see the architecture in terms of backend, how my application is being passing through front end and backend, and I have the EAPI passing from here, the backend. Then I have all the services in the front end of React.js. So this is my source, how I was using with the backend, and then I was using the infrastructure, Grafana and Prometheus for metrics, and key clock for authentication and authorization. And it was a SDD based approach. Skill, what is this? SDD is spec driven development. And this is on my skill.md, steer.md, to do and program.md. So once I run, I was running my front end code using npm run dev, and it was being there in the 3000 port. And from the backend, I was using the VNB, and I'm running my backend. So overall, this is the output window. So once I give any input, process it, and it gives back the response. So, uh, so this is the response which was given here, and we have almost uploaded the 5 documents. One document is having PMP exams also. So if I say what is PMP, we'll see whether it gives back the answer from the document. Okay. So whatever questions you ask to the document, it will answer. If you ask anything Ajit Kumar means, it won't know, because it doesn't have it in the document. Yes, yes, Ajit Kumar. There is no information about Ajit Kumar. Okay. So whatever information you ask with respect to the document, it will answer. To have more control over this rack pipeline, also we have this uh, control over all the functions. So how many functions it passes through based on the first pipeline where it goes. So this is on lang chain. It goes to the function rewrite.py, and how much milliseconds it taken. So the along with all the information, it's been given over here. So after that, it goes to the PA input scan. So which function it is using, how much time it taken. So on the vector retrieval, we can see the QTrend client from Cohere, and how much milliseconds it take. The other metric scores, the context assembly. Um, so where it calls the related information over there. So this is the LLM generation on the Grok, how much time it is taking to respond over here. So this is the PA layer, the other metrics associated on the PA, personal identifiable information. So these were the metrics with respect to the input tokens, output tokens. So how much cost it's happening. So this is the overall workflow. We can able to add or remove the functions, so that we can understand what's happening in the rack pipeline. So on the ingest, this is the drive. If you pass on the link following authentication and authorization, we can able to load all the documents from the Google Cloud Drive. So this is the metrics which I have used for my reference in terms of the chunks, how many queries been asked, the response, the milliseconds and the low latency level, what are all the questions been asked, and then the context precision, recall, F1 score, so the other metrics. So this is the analytics used for my application. So on the rewrite and the various functions, the total tokens being utilized. So the average query, the LLM responses on the topic. So these were the metrics which used to uh, dig deep on this application. So these were the tests which I use it to understand the health condition. It gives me back whether it is running properly. So this is the overall session. So let's have another session to see on the coding part. Thank you.